Hi, everybody. I have my great friend Vicki. Vicki, are you okay? Are you okay? Vicki, can you hear me? Oh my goodness. So we have had technical difficulties. Can you
Holding.
hear me now?
Huh? I'm
So
here.
I was introducing you, and then your face was like this.
That's
Okay,
accurate. That's how I
so
wake up every day.
let's try again. I've got my good friend Vicki here. She is with Remax and she represents Maryland, Virginia, DC area. And I'm super excited to have her. I've been begging her to be on the show forever now and then stood her up once. So I apologize for that. I did not mean to. I'd sent you the wrong link and I had like 10 people signed up for the exact same day. And I was in panic mode once I realized that. And then we had a little bit of technical difficulties. So it's been stressful like for the last 15 minutes, but
Yeah.
she's with us and she is here now. And I'm super excited.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm
Um,
so glad. I'm
I'm a
so
little
glad you took me
well.
up on it.
I did cancel on you before, but I gave you a couple weeks, and
Yeah.
the excuse, honestly,
Well,
was
things happen.
BS.
Things happen. So we're going to talk about all the things that nobody tells you, right? Everybody tells you real estate's wonderful. It's fantastic. You can make all this money. All you have to do is open a door and, you get a flexible schedule. You, you just sit back and the money it rains money.
Yep.
However, nobody really talks about the reality of a full-time real estate agent and everything that you do and all the different hats you wear and anyway, that is what we're covering today. And I know that Vicki and I, we talked earlier, she was hoping that we'd have a lot of people chiming in. So please put your responses. If you have a story to share or if you have anything to chime in as we talk, please engage with us. It makes this so much easier and more fun.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
Vicki,
want to
we
hear
are
your
talking about
thoughts.
the scar on your head.
Oh, there's a scar on my head. So I'm also looking for plots. Um, Vacant house, vacant listing of mine, third agent on the deal, so the pressure was on, like Donkey Kong, big time pressure to sell this house, being the third agent. And house was vacant. Um, saw the owner walk into this hanging chandelier with no dining room table underneath it, wink on the head, no problem. My photographer, videographer, same thing. I knew it was there, and the house is huge, has a lot of doors and
So you did it
windows,
twice?
sliders. I only did it once. I saw two other people do
Oh,
it.
okay.
So I'm walking to lock the second of five doors, and like a trained animal, my phone rang and went to look at it. He never stopped moving. And I went right into the chandelier. I still have the scarf.
Wow, yeah.
Okay. And I'll show you the pictures. How many people are on here right now?
I cannot see how many people are on. I can only see comments, which I don't see any comments.
Okay. It's bad. So I don't know if you can see
Holy cow.
that. Bad. Like
Wow.
gushing blood, winter hair. They said those stitches should heal on its own. So I'm hoping that it does. But that's the most traumatic
Oh my
event
gosh.
or
That's
incident that I
horrible.
can think of. It's bad.
Say
But
Gina.
it was my biggest commission to date. So I look at the scar and they say, you can do it. You sold that house and that's worth every penny in my mind. So it's
Holy
really
cow.
how you look at it. Yeah.
What'd you say? Which what?
I said it's worth every penny
Yeah.
to me because I look at that scar and it, drive me. It's how it's your take on everything, right?
That's
So
exactly
this part of
right.
me is not a negative. So
Well, for me, I think this is the third week in a row that I talked about it. But I was showing Eric and Ashley from Virginia, the real estate agent. I'm not even going to attempt his last name. Starts with a W. Wyckoff.
nice. He's a doll. Yeah.
Yes, love him to death. I was showing them houses here.
Mm.
And it was one of those days that I just, as a real estate agent, you're walking around with like 25 things in your hands and you've got your phone and you've got to pay attention to what your buyers are saying. You have to pay attention to where you're walking and you have to pay attention where the lockbox is and your surroundings. And I was literally juggling everything and didn't pay attention and I ate it too. I mean, I fell flat on my face. I mean, it was embarrassing. Like
It
my
is.
dress went up. Like it was really embarrassing.
Yeah.
which is funny. But then, some of the other things with real estate to take into account, my mom passed away in March, and it was not a pretty process. And it was sad. It was horrible. We're not getting into that. But what I am getting into is I had a seller that I had driven. My mom lived 2 hours away. Had a seller that I had been working with, and he knew the situation. He knew what had happened. I drove back into Wilmington 3 different times to meet with him. And then right before we were supposed to get the pictures, he fired me because he said he needed an agent that did not have a dying mother.
Wow.
And he said, I am so sorry about this, but you are fired.
Can I curse here? Because I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't know if we have any, delicate flowers in the call, both male and female, that may be offended if I curse.
What did you say?
Are you going to be offended if I curse?
No.
The guy's an asshole.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. But that is the reality of real estate.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks it's easy and money's just going to come in. And the truth of the matter is, people don't care. And your mother's dying, whatever's happening, and they want to sell their house. So it doesn't matter to them.
This business will show you the absolute best of humanity and the worst of humanity. And you can get both sides of that coin in a 5-minute period, every hour, depending on the day. It's a roller coaster. It's a brutal way to make a living. And I feel people are kind of addicted to it.
And when people say that you work 24/7, that is really no joke. I mean, 24/7, a buyer calls you and you're with another buyer.
Yep.
They just move to the next person. I mean, there's a real estate agent. Every third person in the world is a real estate agent.
Yep.
I mean,
yeah. It's brutal.
Yeah.
And we are abused, and we earn every penny that we get. People don't understand how much we sacrifice, both emotionally, mentally, physically, time spent away from my children. I was taking my PEP classes, literally took my final exam Thursday night Riker here in Maryland, and gave birth to Leah the following day, Friday afternoon. No joke. And then did nothing my first year. And took me about maybe 2 years to really get foot in my first settlement. And I spent a lot of time working, trying to build a business, and missed my son's PB football games. It's brutal. And we give up a lot, and we deserve a lot more respect than we freaking get.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, it's more than just putting a sign in the yard.
Yep.
Like, I have one listing. I mowed their grass. I cleaned up 29 roaches. That was disgusting. It's a vacant house. I go by and check on it at least 3 times a week because it is vacant, to make sure it's okay and it's good. I have babysat kids. I have helped foster dogs. You name it. I do whatever it takes to sell a home. Well, okay, within reason, whatever it takes to sell a home. And I help buyers and sellers in every which capacity, which does mean it is so much more than just opening a door for you.
Hands down. Well, I do think that HGTV and Bravo TV have, and whether they've been going on for like 15 years, have really dumbed their industry down.
Yeah.
Because, you show up in a miniskirt and your hooters up to here and high heels, and everything is glam, glam, glam.
And they're just making the money.
Off in Riviera, flying Chanel purses. Anyone on here does that. Teach me how you do it, because I need training. But they've dumped it down and they've made it so easy, like caveman can do it, right? Like Geico. And I'm over it. And they actually show the commissions on the bottom of these Bravo TV shows, in LA, Beverly Hills, Tribeca, Manhattan, commission earned, $368,000. Like, okay, really? Yeah.
100%. Yeah. And they make it look so easy. Yep. Right? They just come back, they're sitting in their office, they're laughing, they're driving Ferraris, it's like, yeah. So there's a lot of people listening. I see my stepsisters listening. We got Mandy Mallory on there. We've got Mark Cruz, Colleen, Gina. Everybody, thank you. Adrian, Eric tells everybody you are not the first person. I think that is his like favorite line is to tell people about when I ate at Shonen houses.
Well,
What is your funniest story? Funniest, most embarrassing, most shocking? What are you guys seeing in the real estate world? And
yeah,
Vicki,
put it in the comments. I want to see it.
yes. And what about you? Do you have like me falling in front of Eric was not my most embarrassing, but it was pretty good. It was very embarrassing. My craziest, my stepsister Jonna that's listening, she was on the team years ago and she had a mobile home that was listed.
Uh-huh.
And there was a buyer in town to see it. And back then, I mean, this was like $100,000 mobile home. Not that it's just, that's just is what it is. And I was showing it for her, and the buyer showed up, and the key was not in the lockbox. The previous agent that had shown it had lost the key,
Oh,
did not tell us. We had no other key. So when she called the seller to see how we could get in or how we could get a second key, she informed us that I should probably just crawl through the window. So I had this buyer that I had never met before hoist me
you can't make it up.
so I could climb through the window so that I could unlock the front door to let them in. Anyway, it was that was funny.
Well, let's keep it real because I know no other way to do it. You're tiny as a fit. If it was me showing it, I wouldn't have made it through. So there's that.
Yeah. John, she says having to drop off a due diligence check when the clothing optional neighborhood and the seller was there naked.
Is that a Florida community? That's a Florida thing, right?
No, well, it might be a Florida thing, but she's talking about here. It's about an hour and a half from Wilmington.
Oh, you have one of those?
We do.
Oh my.
Yeah, okay, funny enough, she's talking about my sister. So my sister bought into a nudist community. I just can't make some things up. And she is my stepsister as her real estate agent. And yeah, and the seller in question was like in his 70s. So it really was not pretty what you got to see either. So
I can imagine. I walked in one time to a house that was supposed to get on the market, and the guy was in the middle of, trying to get his tenant out. And maybe there was miscommunication, or the tenant just didn't give a crap and did not leave the house. All the doors were closed upstairs. One was open. I just saw a toe sticking out from a sheet. The guy was definitely buck naked. I'm like, I'm out. Run for the hills. So I didn't see anything, but the guy was naked for sure.
I had one, I was showing a house and the seller was there. I mean, it was a family. I mean, when I say a family, it was like, husband, wife, 2 children, little kids. Everybody's running. We're looking through the house, and I opened the primary bedroom, and there was a man in there sleeping. I mean, sleeping as hard as he could. And I was like, oh God. Like I shut the door back and I called the listing agent, and I was like, and he had a gun beside his bed. So I was like, oh my God, just let him know it was me. I was here. I'm so sorry. Please don't kill me.
I see you, Dave Rosenfeld. Very funny. See Dave's over there.
Dave, what do you deliver your earnest money checks in the nude? That's what I want to know.
Probably. This is where we're done full circle.
That's how we're so successful.
Yeah.
I had this was years ago, but I had a seller, and it was a hoarder situation. It was a true hoarder situation. And I went to talk to him about listing his house, and he had to make a path for me to walk through. There's two points of the story. It's funny. He made a path for me to walk through. He had to scoot off a place on his dining room table big enough for letterhead, just big enough for us to take off the contract, the listing paperwork. And he goes, are you okay? And I looked up at his mirror to see what he was talking about. And my eyes are like bloodshot. They're starting to water. And I'm like, man, I was like, something in here is really strong. It's affecting my allergies. Okay. Is it the smoke? Because I smoke inside. That was first question. Or is it the bomb that I just shot off because I have really bad infestation of fleas?
That's disgusting.
Second point of it, he said, we were going through, this was back when short sales were a thing. This was probably 10 years ago. We're going through the listing paperwork. And he was like, wait, tell me the process. So are you going to be here to show the house? And I was like, no. you'll have a lockbox on the door. There'll be a buyer's agent, and he said, and I'm envisioning this like it was yesterday. He said, how do I know my things are not going to be stolen? And when
That's
I
funny.
tell you, Vicki, I am looking around.
You can only hope that something gets taken out of the house.
His chair, his favorite chair that he sat in, was held together with duct tape. Okay, that's just like, so I'm looking around and I'm like, all I see is shit. I just see shit everywhere. I mean, quite legitimately. And I'm looking around and I'm like, I mean, the man went into the kitchen to find me something, and he found groceries that he had bought 3 weeks prior that had been lost. So when I say like this was a really bad situation,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, well, what do you think that they would take? And he's like, well, like my valuables. And I'm like, okay,
They
what
can't find them.
valuables? And he said, my TV. And I said, I promise you, I can promise you your TV will not be stolen. I can promise you that it'll be a licensed real estate agent showing the house, and your big TV is they cannot just walk out the door with it. And
Did
then
you sell that? Did you sell that house?
I did sell it. It was a short sale. So yes, and we priced it to sell it. But then it gets even funnier. So all the things he was worrying about people taking, he asked me how he was supposed to move them once it went under contract. And I was like, I mean, get a dumpster, get a pod, I mean, whatever you want to do. He literally opened the back door and threw everything, just threw it in the backyard. Yeah. So that was something else fun, because then on walkthrough, as I'm doing the walkthrough before the buyers do it, I have to call the buyer's agent and be like, I am so sorry, and go out there with bags and get like, just clean it up.
That's horrific.
People are crazy.
That is traumatic.
That is traumatic. That is traumatic. Yes, it's kind of funny, but it is traumatic. What kind of stories do y'all have out there, Shar? What kind of stories do you have? Like Dave says, yes, hell yeah. He delivers the earnest money in his, nude. I'm having a whole new vision there, Dave. Sorry about that.
Dave enjoys that, for sure.
Yes. Or what was the silly reason that you got fired over? Anybody? Do you have one, Vicki?
I had a guy fire me probably like year 2 or 3. Well, we didn't have let's just say that we didn't have a signed listing agreement. He was supposed to sign it. He never did. So it really was a true firing. He owned a used tire yard. Nothing wrong if you do that. This guy was definitely sketchy and crazy, so I wasn't upset. I mean, as a new agent, I was feelings were hurt, but looking back, it was a gift. Sometimes it's a gift to say no. It really is. I think we got to get better at it, especially women. We're too much of people pleasers, and we feel like we have to take on and do all the things, and that's bullshit. The older
it was like when the seller that fired me when I was going through the stuff with my mom, as much as it really hurt my feelings, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it really butt hurt me for a long time. And my daughter said, and I thought this was so true, she was like, in 5 years, you're not gonna remember who that seller is. You're not gonna remember that seller's name. However, you will remember the 2 months that you took off to be there. And I thought that was so true. I thought that was a really good perspective, because I do think it's part of our women as your nature, right? Your motherly instincts.
Yep.
Not that I'm trying to categorize by sex, but they're, in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, women do have certain characteristics that men typically don't have, and to be those motherly instincts. And I think that we try to do that with our clients, and we also wear our feelings on our sleeves. You had said that, Vicki. I think that it's easy to get your feelings hurt and try to solve everybody's problem and try to do everything for everybody. But at the end of the day, you're right. Sometimes be glad that they fired you and just move on, just next, The other thing people don't think about in real estate is, if you are not making somebody else's phone ring, your phone's not going to ring. And meaning that, make the calls. Do you know how many agents come in and they apply to be on the team, and when it comes down to it, they're like, I don't make phone calls. How the hell are you going to sell a house? if
Right.
you're scared to pick up the damn phone.
True.
I mean, and the fact how long it takes, right? Because it's not like when I took those couple of months off for my mom, I did not, I knew, I've been in real estate 19 years. I have taught so many realtors and trained so many realtors, and I love doing that. I'm very passionate about doing that, actually. And I always said, whatever you do today, you get paid for in 60 to 90 days from today. And I didn't, I was very, very, very consumed with my mother, and I wasn't worrying about me or my business. And when I came back to work, when I say my phone was quiet, my
Mm-hmm.
very quiet. Nobody was calling me, nobody was texting me, nobody was emailing me. And I went into full on panic mode because
Mm-hmm.
in 19 years of real estate, this thing, as much as it drives me insane,
Right.
it also scares you when it doesn't ring.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really hard. It was very, very, very hard, virtually impossible rebuilding my business. I had to take out a substantial loan to float me, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
because after that, it took me 3 months before I got anything under contract. Plus, I wasn't in a good headspace. I
Right.
just wasn't in a
But
good.
let me ask you this, the other side of that is, do you think that some people maybe were calling you because they wanted to give you time to grieve and it was like a respect thing?
Well, I figured they were. I figured, well, maybe that was probably some of it. I mean, I did get texts and calls from like Remax agents and friends, but I mean, not about real estate. Or I was thinking because my daughter and I were administering morphine every hour.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that you could get it in a drip. That was
Mm-hmm.
not available to us in the location she was at. So we were having to manually give her morphine every hour. So when I tell you, like, we were doing shifts, we were doing 6 hour shifts so that somebody could try to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I really, and now that as I'm saying this out loud, I don't blame the seller for firing me. I'm, probably glad I got
But you
fired.
know what? You could have done it any other way. Because let me tell you something. The cost of regret, that would have been heavier and haunted you and
Yeah,
stayed with you and stuck to
yeah,
you for your entire life. So you're going to come back stronger
yeah,
than ever and make up for it because you did
yeah.
it on your terms.
But you
You
know
know?
what it did to create business after I stressed out and freaked out and had panic and depression and everything else that comes along with panic,
Mm-hmm.
um, was I started calling Remax agents. And I called the ones that had reached out to me just to thank them. But I also told them my financial situation and that I was scared. I mean, I was truly, I was scared. And, I ended up getting like 5 referrals that month,
Mm-hmm.
um, of people just trying to help, which was amazing. It was
Mm-hmm.
amazing. Those people have now closed and have moved on, but that was good. But I'm saying Remax is a very strong network.
It's a family within a family.
It is. It truly is. It truly is. So I think that is. I think one of the advices I would give to any new agent. You need whether I'm not saying it has to be Remax, obviously, but find a community. Find a community of people that will help you
Mm-hmm.
because it is a vicious world in real estate and it's very competitive and most people will not help you. And as a newbie agent, you also think you know everything and you don't.
You know.
You probably don't know anything until after you had like 20 some closings. And
Mm-hmm.
then you're like, oh, it makes sense now. They say the agent that gets sued the most is the one that had between 6 and 8 closings because they've
Mm-hmm.
had enough that they get cocky.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have enough to really know all the ins and outs.
True.
You know. So, what was the longest time you've ever worked with somebody that never ended up buying or selling?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm kind of a pit bull.
You're
If
kind
that
of a
helps
what?
you. I'm like a pit bull. I'm like a dog with a bone. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna hang on. They're either gonna buy or don't.
I
You
had
know, I have to really think on that. You go first. I'll start
I had
going.
one that that was coming down from Pennsylvania for 5 years. I
Mm-hmm.
showed them houses, all, not every single day for 5 years, just when they were in Wilmington. And I showed them for 5 years. I mean, they'd come down 1 to 2 weeks every year, and I would show them houses every year. And they called me, and they were coming back down on year number 6. And on year number 6, when they let me know they were coming down, I was not there. I was on vacation. So I said, "Can I just refer you to an agent on my team?" And they were like, "Yes." So I referred them to Katie.
Mhm.
Katie showed them 3 houses and they bought one.
That's funny.
I was just like, 6 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
On year number 6, you buy?
Yeah.
I thought,
I
no, I
mean,
thought it was
right
funny.
now I have listings like a charm bracelet, and I'm collecting them, and there's like very little action.
Yeah.
So I have a condo I can be selling in Alexandria because there's a lawsuit going on within the condo. And
Oh, wow.
there's just stuff going on with condo docs that are very derogatory. So yeah, some weird stuff going on right now.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
Well, now with the new rules and regulations changing with condos,
Mhm.
and I don't fully understand it, but the HOA, and now it has to be like 15% instead of 10% or whatever it is. Um, I'm finding it almost impossible to sell condos.
They're tough. Those condo fees are really
Yes.
expensive right now. So
Like Dana's asking you, like a charm bracelet, question mark, or laugh? Is that
oh, she doesn't. Oh, she's too young to know what a charm bracelet is. A charm bracelet's like very popular in the 40s and 50s. My mom had one, like a big chunky gold bracelet, and you put charms on there. If you travel to St. Thomas, you go to Mexico, if you're a tennis player, they're charms.
yeah?
Dina's a young, gorgeous 22-year-old. How old she is. She doesn't know what a charm bracelet is. Love you, Dina.
She said, "I'm older than you, girl," and she has one.
Oh, she does have one?
Yes. She's beautiful. I don't know how old she is, but she
She's a
does look like
stunner.
she's a child. She's
Mhm.
gorgeous. So anybody else have any funny stories? I'm looking to see if anybody put anything up there.
Everybody's very quiet.
John said 1 year. It took her a year. I've
Yeah.
had I had a listing that it was a short sale, and it was a good listing. It was listed for like 500,000, and it took there on this one house. This is a good story. He built it, and he was a
Oh,
builder. And this is at a time where the market had just crashed. He had 4 different loans on the house because since he built it, he actually didn't owe very much on it, but
uh-huh.
he used his house as leverage.
As an ATM.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool.
And then the market crashed, and he was in the middle of building all these other houses, and he couldn't sell them. So he had 4 loans on one house. He had a bankruptcy on it and a foreclosure on it. So we did end up selling it, but going through the bank with the short sale, it ended up taking close to 3 years.
Mm.
And I did get a check for like 14,000. I had figured I'd made 1 cent an hour. I mean,
Mhm.
literally.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, no, you're bringing it back. The trauma. The Bank of America short sale, I don't know, like maybe 15 years ago. And it was really difficult too because the seller's last name was Reyes. I think it was Romero Reyes. And I think that's how I got that. He thought I was Reyes. I spoke Spanish. If you give me enough margaritas, I can speak Spanish pretty good. But I'm a Reyes. My ex-husband, he's Filipino, so
Oh,
that's how I'm a Reyes. I'm not really real Reyes. Anyway, I digress. 3 years with Bank of America short sale. We went through like 4 or 5 contracts, and every time we'd start over. It was horrible. We did get it
wow.
sold, but that was like a 10K commission. It was like a $300,000 townhouse. It was brutal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not all glamorous. It's hard. This is a hard it's very rewarding. I mean, I've been doing it 19 years. I think real estate's very, very rewarding. But man,
Mhm.
you have to have thick skin. Let's see what Dana says. 2 years for me. Buyer looked at homes every couple of months. Bought one, bought one. This was years ago. Then I never heard from him again. Always invited him my client parties, sent cards, etc. Then one day, out of the blue, he invited me to his wedding. Oh wow! And he and his wife to be stopped by my house so they can meet me. That was sweet. That's a good one. So it is rewarding.
Yeah.
And then your stories like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very rewarding.
There's
And
good
I mean, I
stuff.
go to birthday parties and weddings. I mean, my clients become my friends. Um, but it is stressful too.
It's brutal. Don't you feel like the older you get, the harder it is to envision yourself doing this in like 5 years down the road? Like, don't you feel that way?
Well, sometimes I just think I'm tired. Like, how
Yeah.
much longer could I do the hustle bustle? How much longer can I continue the rat race? I mean,
Yep.
because it is competitive, and as you get older, I am tired.
Yeah. And I feel like the summertime, I don't know what the weather is down there, but it was like 95 degrees today.
Yeah,
And like I told you, the humidity was really bad. Like you can't even breathe. It's that thick out there. And I just feel like when I'm showing houses to buyers, I'm just grumpy. I mean, not with buyers, but the car, I'm grumpy. Then I'm back
yeah,
out, and I'm back in the car, and I'm like, oh,
yeah. That is, so you don't put buyers in your car?
no, we don't really do that here. I don't
Yeah.
drive people
I don't
around.
do it very often here
Mm.
either. I mean, honestly, it really exhausts me when I have buyers in the car with me.
Yeah,
That was kind of a good thing that came out of COVID is me learning I didn't have to.
yeah,
Because it is like your exact thing. That's what triggered me when you're like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And then you get in the car, and you're like, "That is
hmm,
that is maybe like in between houses, where I could
yep,
just play some like shit radio or something to just like not think
yep.
between houses." Because when you have buyers in the car, you have to pay attention to where you're
They're
going,
talking,
and you
and
have
I
to
miss
pay attention to
stuff.
them.
Yes, I can't.
And then they're asking you all about the location, and you're trying to
Yeah,
look around, you're
and
trying
you're
to
like,
follow your GPS, trying to
no.
listen to them and engage with them. And boy, you do it for like 4 hours. At the end of it, you're like, I am not physically exhausted, but my brain is dead.
When I was in your age, I did that. I had someone from upstate New York come and they got a big job here in DC, and I picked him up from the train station in DC at Amtrak. And I loved it. I thought it was great. And then I got older and I'm like, screw this.
Yeah.
No, I don't drive people.
Oh, that's funny. What about have you ever had a situation that scared you?
Ooh, you know what's funny you said that? Yes, I was thinking of it yesterday. I was trying to think of topics. 'Cause again, if you know me, I can start here and then wind up here. It's like ADHD kick in. So like we gotta stay strong on and not get off topic. A couple years ago, in Gaithersburg, Maryland, I was doing an open house in a townhouse, back to a lake, walking out basement, and there was a guy going around selling windows, Thompson Creek windows. It was really big in this area. And walked in the open house, said, "Oh, can I look through? Can I use the bathroom?" Sure, fine. Young guy. The neighbors next door to check out the townhouse because as usual, you know, the nosy neighbor routine, right? They kind of looked at him funny, got a good vibe too. So like, do you want us to stay with you? You know, wait for the guy to leave. And this was an old 1970s townhouse. So it was like a half bath right off the front door and had skylights.
Oh,
And this guy is you see his face like up against the skylight, like watching to see people leave. So I'm now alone in the townhouse. It was very weird. So people left, everyone left, the three-level townhouse. I walk outside, I'm on my phone with a friend. He now sees, and I yelled, "Hey, I'm going to back up." He came to the front door, was looking at me, and I said, "You all done?" I said, "Because I got to lock up." He's like, "Yeah." So I locked my car, ran in the front door, locked behind me, ran downstairs to lock that back door because it's the only way we can get in. And I was afraid. And I had my friend with me on the phone the whole time. And I'm like, this was definitely going to be, there was nothing in the house, it was a vacant house. So it wasn't a robbery, it had to either be assault or rape or whatever it is. Yep, that was the scariest one.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the I'm just trying to think. I had a couple of scary times, but I think my scariest was one time, and I was a new agent, and I was doing open houses on the week, almost every single weekend. And open houses was my bread and butter my first couple of years of real estate.
Did you do them
And
alone?
what?
Alone? Were you doing them alone? Yeah, we always did them alone.
And I
Always.
had two guys walk in, and it was a decent neighborhood. It wasn't great, but I wasn't scared to do it by myself there.
Mm-hmm.
And two guys walked in, and they were barefoot, and I kind of thought that was weird. And then I looked for a car. They didn't have a car, so kind of thought that was weird. But I thought maybe it's a neighbor. And then they walked upstairs, and I was the only one in the house. And and all the bedrooms were upstairs. Everything else was downstairs, but all the bedrooms were upstairs. And they screamed, not like, ah, but screamed for me up that they were upstairs. And they were like, hey, realtor lady, can you come upstairs? Because we have questions for you.
Hell no.
And all of a sudden I got freaked out and I looked and I made like, I unlocked all the doors so that I had easy exit if they tried to come after me. I walked out of the house back then when you had keys. I put my key in my car. I turned my car on and I moved my car from the driveway, which I never park in the driveway now because this is what I learned. I moved my car from the driveway to the edge of the road so I could also not be blocked and I could get out easily. And then when I came back in, I was like, I'm sure they were wondering what in the world happened to me, but I was like, I can answer any of your questions first. And I just positioned myself in a way that I could get out easily and successfully if I needed to. It ended up being no problem. They came downstairs and told me never mind and walked out. But you should really listen to your gut and really pay attention to those cues because it could be scary for anybody, man, women, I don't care what it is. It could be, you're meeting strangers. And then I had one time, oh my God, I forgot this time. Had a listing appointment. This lady tells me she wants to list with me, but she lives with her daughter and her daughter's destroyed the house and she doesn't want her daughter to know why I'm there. Okay. So I ring the doorbell.
So crazy.
Not two men. One man answers the door. And if you close your eyes and envision what in your mind, what do you think a meth addict would look like? Because that is exactly the person that answered the door. In my mind, what I would think, right? Somebody's probably 20, but looks like they're 50. They're missing teeth. They're like all wrinkled up, but they look like they should be younger, but they've really had a hard life. And that kind of, just to give you an image of my stereotype. And he tells me, I asked for the homeowner by name, and he said, you have the wrong address.
Okay.
So I look at the street sign. I mean, I'm like doubting myself, like, oh shit, maybe I do. I look at street sign, I look at the house sign. It is the right address, but I am not arguing. So I start walking. I was like, okay, no problem. I start walking back to my car. And then another man comes out, looks exactly the same. In the meantime, they're keeping the door behind them shut. Like they're being very odd about what's inside, shutting the door behind them. And he's like, hey, can I help you? And I was like, no, I think I have the wrong address. I am looking for whatever the lady's name was. And he was like, no, she's here. Now I'm like, oh shit.
Against your will.
I literally do a pin drop to my children and I text them, if you do not hear from me in 10 minutes, call 911. Because now I'm getting kind of weirded out. Then a girl comes out. And she did not look like the stereotype. She comes out, she was cute. And I mean, not that you should judge by how they looked, but I didn't have anything else to go on. So I was judging by how they looked. And so she comes out, she's cute. And she says that that's her mom. Why was I there? And the mom has said, don't tell my daughter why you're here. And now I've got daughter and 2 meth addicts. And I'm like, I was like, F it. I was like, here's my business card. I have an appointment with your mom. I mean, if y'all don't ever give me a secret, because if I'm threatened, I'm spilling my beans as fast as I can.
That's just the right situation for you. You wouldn't have been able to.
Then she says, oh, okay, come inside.
Oh, no.
So now I'm like, F. My mind is going like, holy shit, run. But I don't. My feet do not listen to my brain. And I go inside. Half of the floors, hardwood floors, torn up. I mean, legitimately torn up. There are 10 people inside. The house is just a cute neighborhood. The house is in a cute neighborhood, cute part of town, cute. Inside is destroyed. I mean, and they are smoking so much that when I walk in, it's almost like I'm walking into like the old time bars, like back when I was in college when you could smoke inside. It is like a plume of smoke. She's the only woman. There's like 9 men roughly, and they're in a circle, like sitting in a circle with like fold out chairs in front of the hallway. And they're like, well, she's in the bedroom. It's back there.
Please tell me you didn't go.
Oh, I did. So I had to go in the middle of the hallway, middle of the circle of men, in this horrible house, and the mom is back there. And the mom is also smoking. She's laying in bed with her robe on, smoking, with a ventilator on. She's on oxygen.
Yeah, your story went
Her,
nightmare.
she was like, I was like, my brain was like, get the F out. What are you doing? You are insane. Like, some things are not worth the money. And all of a sudden, the lady was like, how much do you think you could sell my house for? And I looked at her, I was like, I can't. Literally, I was like, I can't. I got to get out of here. And then I signed the entire team up for self-defense classes. Like, because I was like, oh my God, like, I wouldn't even know, like I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover, not a fighter. If they came at me with something, I would have been like, I would have been so.
You would have been outnumbered. You were already outnumbered. Yeah.
I just went, God. Anyway, it did make me realize, and it was stupid that was what it took to realize that, man, be careful going into people's houses. I mean, you don't know anything about them.
You don't. Are we not the only business that, I mean, even like Uber Eats, they drop the bag off at the front door.
Yeah.
We're the only industry that I know of, except maybe car guys. I guess if you like take a test drive, they're in the car with you, right? We put out, anywhere from half a dozen to 2 dozen signs for an open house. Here we are. Come get us from 1 to 3. Like on Sunday, it's nuts. I don't do open houses alone anymore.
Well, and guess what? We're very much in the public.
Yep.
I mean, if you can't find a real estate agent by Googling them, you shouldn't use that agent, right? So we're all over, we're on social media, we're on this, on that. We're told that, you have to be present, you have to be findable, you have to be. So literally, your sign's out front with your phone number on it. They can Google you, they're going to find you. They see that you're doing an open house, they can see everything about you. Correct. And yeah, I mean, before you go into a listing appointment, they already know about you. Yeah. You don't know anything about them.
True. And we're supposed to be all over social media on your platform.
Yeah.
Dancing, singing, all these things. How about no?
Yeah. That's what Alana says, that we had a buyer in the hills of Boulder that she had never met before, asked her to turn off her cell phone because he can't be near cell phones. Weird. Wife had blocked my truck in. Thankfully, it was legit, but scary. We never found him a home far enough away from the cell service.
He couldn't be near a cell phone?
Right? Am I reading that right? It says near cell phones. People are weird.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, people are weird. Like, we'll have team meetings. We always talk about, like, our funniest story, weirdest story that week. Man, it's crazy. I feel like we could write a book.
There's plenty to write with.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, any final words? We've been talking for 45 minutes.
We have. This is like the tip of the iceberg. This is nothing.
I know. But you were nervous about coming on. Was it easy?
Well, should we tell them the real story? What happened at the beginning?
Yes, do it.
So I'm not the most tech person, and I'm not a big Zoom person. I'm more of a like one-on-one in your face person, right? She asked me a couple months ago to do it, and I made up some cockamamie excuse not to do it. So thank God 20 minutes earlier, we met up, and I was doing screen sharing, FaceTiming. This newer computer has a teeny tiny little slide up top, which like shuts me off, almost like a window shade. So we spent like 20 minutes sweating, trying to figure out why the camera wasn't working because I inadvertently swiped it. That was traumatic.
And then when you FaceTime me and I couldn't really see, I could only see a little bit of the screen at a time. I was like,
everything was working. I don't know what's happening.
Good thing we got on early.
Yeah, true. I'll be ready for the next one.
Yes. And I am looking for more people. So if anybody wants to be on, and Vicki, other than the technical faux pas in the beginning, but we got it up and working.
Yes.
I would love to host you on the show, and we could talk about whatever you want to talk about, whatever. Like when I asked Vicki, she's like, I don't know, like, what am I supposed to talk about? I'm like, whatever you want to talk about. She's like, let's talk about things nobody else is talking about. I'm like, let's do it. So,
yeah.
So if there's any topics, we could do whatever you want to do. Just keep it fun.
And it's not scary, because if I could do it, you could do it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And Vicki, thank you for coming. And yes, I am committing to triple play. You had asked me to be your roommate and then laughed at my response. And now they're going to want to room with me, but I don't blame you.
Well, you can't say after your response. They're going to think I'm like me. You gotta say what your response was.
That I snore like an old fat man. I was like, not a cute little snore, not a cute little quiet snore, not like you hear me every once in a while. No, like just I snore.
I was going to totally be down if you just had like a low key snore that I could just like put earplugs in.
You
But
can
when
hear
you
me through
said
the
like
earbuds.
a full heavy man, I don't know if you could do it. No, I'd love
Okay.
to.
She was like, well, that is something I didn't expect you to say.
I did. You just like this tiny little nugget of a woman. How are you snoring like that?
Yeah, my daughter Grayson and I, we just got back from Italy and Croatia, which was a phenomenal, best vacation of my entire lifetime. Um, very well needed. But anyway, she was like one night, like at 3:30 in the morning, she wakes me up and she woke me up like mean, like hit my bed, and then it startled me. Then I was like pissed, and I was like, what did I do to deserve that? She's like,
Right.
she was like, I've got earbuds in, I've got music playing, I've got the TV on. She was like, you keep me awake. She's like, all I could hear is you.
I've never expected it
Yes.
at all.
So, but I did warn you.
And I appreciate your honesty. I will love you from afar.
Yes, but I do want to spend time with you at Triple Play because I've never been, and I always get a little bit of anxiety about going into situations that I don't really know a lot of people. Like Mark Cruz, I mean, probably the first 3 conferences, maybe first 5 conferences that I ever went to, I would not leave my room without him. So I have a lot of social anxiety, so I have a hard time with those things. So
you can be attached to my left hand or my right hand.
Okay, good. I got me a friend. And Colleen said the same thing. And she's a great protector and nurturer and everything else. But she also knows everybody there. So So yes, I'll cling to you.
I got you. I also know some really good like holes in the wall for pizza because I'm originally from Queens, New York, so I'm a little bit of like a snob for pizza and bagels and Italian food.
Oh, okay.
So my favorite pizza joint there.
Well, fabulous. Well, then I can't wait to see you in December.
Thanks everyone for coming.
Yes, and thank you for being on, Vicki. I'm glad we finally got it worked out.
You got it. Thank you, honey.
I'll talk to you later. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.